In a quiet corner of an old Kolkata road stood a two-story house. That's where Ishita was born. But from the very start, she felt unwanted. Her mother often said, "You ruined my life the day you were born." Her father avoided even looking at her. When she topped her class in school, no one said, "Well done." At just 10 years old, her mother shouted, "Girls like you bring shame to the family." That night, Ishita left her home and went to live with her grandmother, a widow who spent her evenings reciting verses from the Bhagavad Gita. The first verse her grandmother taught her was
Sri Bhagavanuvacha Ashocyanan Vashocastvam Pragyavadamscha bhashashe Gatashuna gatashumscha Nanushocanti panditaha.
You grieve for those who should not be grieved for, yet speak words of wisdom. The wise do not mourn for the living or the dead. Her grandmother explained gently, "Ishita, you are crying for something that doesn't deserve your sorrow. The soul is eternal. It doesn't die when the body dies. Wise people never mourn for bodies, whether living or dead. You are not this body. You are the eternal soul." This shook Ishita. She realized her pains, insults, and humiliation. These were experiences of the body. She was far greater than the insults thrown at her. That night, she made her first mental shift. I am not this body. I am that consciousness which never fades. From then on, she studied under her grandmother's guidance, but life still tested her. Tutors mocked her, some even behaved badly. Once sneered, "You will never amount to anything." One evening, after a particularly humiliating day with a tutor, Ishita sat silently, holding back tears. Her grandmother saw her struggle and softly recited another verse.
Natvebahan jatu nasam Natven neme janadhipaha Nachaibana bhavishyamaha Sarve bhayamataf param.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor these kings, nor will any of us cease to exist in the future. Her grandmother explained, "Ishita, this means our existence is eternal. We were always here. We are here now and will continue to exist. This body is temporary, but you, your soul, are timeless." For the first time, Ishita felt strength within. Her worth didn't depend on people's approval or insult. She thought, if I was eternal, why let temporary words hurt me? But there was more to learn. Ishita once asked, "Grandma, if the soul is eternal, why do we suffer?" Her grandmother smiled. "Because of how we act and think, child. There are two types of actions. Shakam karma, done with desires, expecting results. I work for success, I work for praise. And Nishkam karma, done with desire for results, offered to God. I work because it's my duty. The result belongs to Him." Shakam karma ties you to results. If you succeed, you feel pride. If you fail, you feel broken. But Nishkam karma frees you. You do what's right and let go of the results. That is how the mind becomes calm, free from constant fluctuations. Ishita realized her life so far was full of Shakam karma. Every action done for approval, fear of shame, or the hope of love. She always emotionally tied to outcomes. This caused her mind to swing between happiness and despair, success and humiliation. Her grandmother further explained, "The mind is like a lake. Desires create ripples, fear, anger, greed. Your subconscious picks up these impressions and shapes your future decisions. That's why when insulted, you instinctively feel rage, or when praised, you feel pride. But you can retain the mind. Whenever negative thoughts arise, repeat something sacred like Hari Om. It stops the negative wave and brings your mind back to peace. From then on, Ishita made a simple rule. Whenever anger or sadness came, she whispered, Hari Om. It was like pulling an emergency brake on her thoughts. Gradually, she noticed something magical. Her subconscious started changing. She no longer immediately reacted to insults or praises. She was calmer, more focused. Years later, Ishita opened a small Ayurvedic store using her grandmother's old herbal remedies. One day, a man mocked her, "You are just a woman. What do you know about business?" For a moment, the old Ishita would have felt insulted and angry. But she remembered another verse her grandmother had taught her.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumarai yovananjara tatha dehantara praptihi dhiras tatra namuhyati.
Just as the embodied soul passes through childhood, youth, and old age, so too it passes into another body after death. The wise are not deluded by this. Her grandmother had explained the body changes from child to youth to old age, and after that, the soul moves to another body. But the soul itself remains untouched. Social labels like women, poor, successful are all tied to the body, not to who you truly are. Ishita smiled at the man and quietly thought, the body is temporary, my gender is temporary, even my business success is temporary. I am something far beyond all of this. Instead of feeling insulted, she felt gratitude. This man gave her a chance to practice Nishkam Karma, doing her duty unaffected by results or social judgment. Earlier in life, Ishita would have tried to prove herself to the man, chasing success just to silence critics. But now she worked simply because it was her duty to serve people with good remedies, offering the results to God. This shift brought peace. Even when business slowed or someone criticized her products, she remained steady. She had understood working with desire binds you to success or failure. Working without desire frees you, purifies your mind, and prepares it for higher wisdom. Yet, her mind was not fully free. Sometimes negative thoughts crept in. What if the business fails? What if I am mocked again? But she used her grandmother's teachings. Whenever fear or anger arose, she whispered, Hari Om. Slowly, her subconscious began to change. Those habitual emotional reactions, fear, anger, sadness, began to dissolve. A new thought pattern took root. I act because it is right, not because I fear failure or seek praise. She was living what her grandmother called Samadhi Yoga in daily life, a balance of external action and internal calmness. As Ishita's Ayurvedic store grew, she began to enjoy success, money, respect, and appreciation came naturally. But life, as always, had two sides. Her grandmother, her greatest support, passed away. Soon after, a major batch of medicine spoiled in storage, causing heavy financial loss. For a moment, the old Ishita felt pain so deep that it felt unbearable. Yet in her heart, a voice whispered the words she had once learned by her grandmother's side.
Matrashparshastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्यं कुन्त्याः तां स्थितिक्ष्यास्व भारत.
O son of Kunti, the sensations of heat and cold, pleasure and pain arise from contact with the senses. They are fleeting, endure them patiently. Her grandmother had explained, just as winter and summer come and go, so do happiness and sorrow. They are experiences of the body and mind, not of your soul. Bear them patiently, without letting them shake your inner balance. In that moment, Ishita saw her situation differently. Her grandmother's death brought grief because she loved her physical presence. Yet, she remembered that soul never die, only bodies change. The financial loss hurt because she had worked hard, but through Nishkam Karma, she understood her duty was to act sincerely, not to control outcomes. Slowly, she stopped reacting with extreme emotions. She began to see pleasure and pain as passing experiences like waves in an ocean. Earlier, Ishita's subconscious patterns were driven by fear and desire, fear of loss, desire for respect. But every time negative thoughts came, she whispered, Hari Om, as her grandmother had taught. Over time, this became a reflex, like pressing a mental reset button. Instead of sinking into depression or arrogance, she learned equanimity, remaining calm, neither too excited by success nor too broken by failure. This state, her grandmother had said, is the foundation for samadhi, a steady mind that is not tossed around by life's dualities. Only such a mind can focus deeply and realize its true nature. Ishita now understood that success and failure were external events. Her inner stability determined her freedom. Years passed and Ishita looked back at her life, at her childhood rejection, her struggles against injustice, her hard-earned business, and even her personal losses. Yet she was calm, without bitterness or pride. She remembered her grandmother's favorite verse.
Yam hinab vyathayentyete purusham purusharshava samadukha shukhan dhiram shomritatvaye kalpate.
The person who remains unaffected by pain and pleasure, who is steady and wise, is fit for immortality. Her grandmother used to say, freedom doesn't mean escaping from life. Freedom means living in the world, doing your duty, but staying balanced. One who can endure pain and pleasure without being shaken is ready for immortality. Ishita realized how far she had come. She had once worked with Shakam Karma, driven by desires for respect, success and security. But with her grandmother's guidance, she learned Nishkam Karma to work as an offering without attachment to results. This shift changed everything. It calmed her mind, freed her from subconscious fears and created mental space for Atma Gyan. There were still moments when negative thoughts tried to creep in. What if I fail again? What if people still judge me? But she had tools now. Whenever such thoughts arose, she would whisper, Hari Om, recalling her grandmother's instruction, replace negative impulses with divine remembrance. Over time, her subconscious patterns transformed. Her balanced approach allowed her mind to rest effortlessly in stillness. This was the beginning of Samadhi Yoga, not sitting in caves, but finding inner stillness even in life's chaos. She thought my journey was never about escaping pain, but about discovering who I really am, something beyond pain, something beyond success, something beyond all levels. She stood at her grandmother's old prayer spot, reciting softly, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am that soul which never dies. Tears came not of sorrow, but of gratitude. Her life's pain had given her the strength to see beyond life itself. Ishita's story is not just one woman's struggle, it's a lesson for all. Insult, grief, success, failure, all are temporary. What's eternal is the soul and the wisdom to live unattached, balanced, and free.